So for graphing linear functions, what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple problems from the homework assignment from last night. So I don't have the worksheet right now because I'm at my house. So what we're going to do is I looked on Focus and I got these problems from the worksheet. So this specifically is number 17. So the problems on the back of your worksheet were graphing equations in standard form. You could technically do this one of two ways. You could find the x and y intercepts and plot them, but sometimes your graph is not big enough to actually use that method, or you can rearrange it, solving for y, and put it into slope-intercept form. So that is what I'm going to do. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Ooh, crap. Y equals mx plus b, so I'm trying to isolate my variable y. So in this case, I have ax and by and my constants in the back. So first thing I need to do is I'm going to move my x over. It's positive, so I'm going to move it by subtracting it. Minus x minus x. I'm going to bring down negative 3y equals, and technically you could do 6 minus x, but that is not in slope-intercept form. The slope has to be first, the y-intercept should be in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the constant and the coefficient, or my x value, so that way it's in order. So negative 3y equals, the x is what's negative, so negative x. The 6 is positive. There's no negative sign in front of it, so plus 6. Now what I'm going to do is I have to isolate the y completely by getting rid of the negative 3. So I'm going to divide each term by negative 3. Those are going to cancel. I'm left with y equals, 2 negatives will make a positive. So I have technically x over 3. X divided by 3 is 1/3 x. Because even though it's not written, x represents 1. Positive 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So now what I'm going to do is, you should already have a graph provided for you, but I'm going to construct a little graph really quick. So now it's in slope-intercept form. So we're going to start with negative 2. That's where we begin on our graph. The b value is where we start. That is called the y-intercept. So I'm going to start on the y-axis at negative 2. The m is how I move. This is positive 1/3. So if m, my slope, is how I move, I'm going to rise 1, because that's my numerator. I'm going to go up 1, and I'm going to go to the right 3. Up 1 to the right 3. Boop. Up 1 to the right, technically 3. Your graph is probably not big enough, so I'm going to go in the opposite direction. Using that same pattern, go down 1, back 3. Connect them, make a line. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do another example. We're going to do 22. Same method, we're solving for y, we're isolating our y. We're changing the standard form equation into slope-intercept form, starting with moving the x. Minus 2x minus 2x. X's are canceled. I'm left with 3y equals, technically this says 6 minus 2x. To put it in slope-intercept form, I'm going to use the commutative property to switch these two terms. You want the constant in the back. So I have 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. 6 is my constant. It's positive, so it gets a plus sign between the 2x and the 6. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each term by 3 to isolate my y completely. So I'm left with a new equation in standard form, or slope-intercept form. 2/3 is negative, so I just bring that down. Can't simplify it, so I just leave it. 3 divided by 6 is positive 2. So this is the line I am graphing. This is where I begin. That's the b value. This is how I'm going to move. So once again, your graph should already be given to you. I'm going to make one really quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to begin at positive 2. This is a y-intercept, so I'm going to start on the y-axis at positive 2. How I'm moving is my slope. Remember, we use m is rise over run. My fraction is negative 2/3. Both numbers are not negative. I just stick the negative sign in the numerator. So 2 is negative, 3 is positive. So I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 3. The reason why I cannot make both of these negative is because if I made them both negative, that would represent a positive slope. So only one of the numbers is negative. So instead of going up 2, I'm going to go down 2 because my slope is negative. Then I'm going to run to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. Connect them, and you have your line. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do our weirdos. We have 19 and 8 that we're going to do. 19 is y equals negative 4. There is no x value. The slope of this is 0. This represents a horizontal line. Compared to number 8, which is x equals 3. This has no y. This represents a vertical line. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our graphs. We'll start with 8, I guess. What you're going to do is you're going to go to 3 on the x-axis. There is no y, so it should never touch the y-axis. So I go to 3 on my x-axis, and I pull graphical line. Ooh, crap. That should be on that. So x equals 3. It's a vertical line. There is no y in the equation, so it should never cross the y-axis. In this case, it's a horizontal line. The reason why is because every single y value on this line, if I plotted multiple points, the y value would have to be negative 4. I'm going over 1, down negative 4, over 2, down negative 4, over 3, down negative 4. Every y value on this line will have negative 4 as its y value. Versus here, every single x value over 3 up 1, over 3 up 2, over 3 up 4. So if it has x equals, it's vertical. If it has y equals, it's horizontal. Hopefully that is a quick lesson.